Right, Gerry. So thanks for joining us. Gerry's going to have a chat with us a wee bit about his experience on the coaching program and the results that he's got so far. So, Gerry, before you got started on the program, mate, what were some of the reasons you want to change? How were you feeling about yourself prior to it, and what was the reason you reached out?
Primarily, like I had a pretty decent kind of active lifestyle at the time. You know what I mean? I was okay. Played a lot of football, did judo class, but my diet was not atrocious, but it was lazy. You know, lots of takeaways, chocolate biscuits, stuff like that. And I always felt that this kind of sporting activity that I was doing kind of compensated for it. So I was basically kind of treading water with it all, which to a degree I sort of was. I was kind of skinny fat, you know what I mean? I could wear the right clothing. I didn't look overweight or unfit or anything like that. So I was kind of hiding it all a wee bit quite well. And then things started to just slowly not fit me in my wardrobe, things like that. And then to top it all off, COVID started kicking in. Football got cancelled, judo got cancelled, and suddenly I had no organised activities now that were the only exercise that I was getting throughout the week. And I started to get a bit worried that something had to give. I was either going to balloon or I had to do something. And I knew I was too, effectively, I didn't have the strength in me to do any kind of workouts off my own back. I needed to commit to something. And I saw your advert. It was kind of fortuitous, you know what I mean? I hardly ever looked through Facebook, and I just saw your advert advertising, targeting guys over 30, you know, fathers, busy lifestyles, and it just kind of rang a chord with me, and I just thought I would give it a go.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did, because it's been quite a journey so far.
Right.
Just so when you reached out and you were thinking about getting started on the program, what were some apprehensions that you had at that point about starting? Was there any at all?
Oh yeah, aye. I mean, I'm not a gym goer. I've never liked that kind of side of things. I've tried joining gyms before. Obviously, you pay the money, so there is a level of commitment to gyms, but I never had the commitment to make time to go for it. I would always find an excuse to not do it. And I was kind of worried that something like that might happen. You know, I would commit some money. I'm not leaving my house. It's cold. You know, I maybe didn't have the equipment required to do it or something like that. You know, I was worried about the kind of unknowns of the outlays and the kind of level of commitment that I would get into it. But ultimately, no, I've no regrets beyond so far. Everything's been pretty chilled. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's you know, all the changes, all the kind of recommendations that have come in, have all been just small steps, just small changes, just accumulating over time, and you quickly notice a difference. It's amazing how quickly I noticed the difference. So it just encouraged me to just kind of keep going, you know, and I started to get into a routine with it all, and it's now just sort of slowly crept into being the lifestyle that I'm kind of in now, which is quite good. So.
Good stuff, man. Glad to hear it. So you mentioned those apprehensions about you know, worrying that this might just be another thing that you pay money for, you commit to, and you don't actually follow it through. Why do you think that didn't happen? What were some of the things about the program and the process that you feel helped you be consistent and actually apply the steps and make the changes?
I think kind of first and foremost, obviously I started out in the 28-day rebirth, so there was a level of commitment without too much commitment, which was kind of appealing to me. You know, it wasn't really a try before you buy. Obviously, you commit to the 28-day rebirth, but at the end of it, there's no. You made it clear that there's no obligation. You know, beyond that 28-day rebirth, you can. This is what you're going to get if you stay on, and it was a good taster. Yeah. It certainly kind of started you out. It saw what the program was all about, and actually within 28 days, I actually started seeing a level of results. You know, I mean, it's not like I turned into Superman in 28 days, but you started to see just slowly chipping away, just small changes. You know, it wasn't even anything dramatic, but you started just to see small changes, just in diet, in my fitness, and it like I say, it's not easy, but it's not as hard as I thought it could be, and it was easier to commit to in that way.
Yep, got you. So what would you say are some of your favourite things about the programme? What are some things that you really enjoy and feel that helps you?
I mean, the dietary kind of stuff, obviously, you've mentioned this in the past, is a thing that really does the majority of the damage to your fat kind of intake. And I just didn't really appreciate just how bad my diet really was. You know what I mean? The amount of snacking that I used to do, and you wouldn't even notice. You know what I mean? You'd go and get a cup of tea. You know, after breakfast, you would maybe wait half an hour, go get a cup of tea. With that cup of tea came 2 biscuits. You wouldn't even notice they were there. They were just in the throat, and there they were. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, I've never done calorie counting, not even in this one. I mean, I know the last week there we were doing a wee bit of calorie counting just for a week, but over this kind of thing, it was more the commitment to eating properly at set meal times.
Yeah. Just
by doing that within that 28-day program, I didn't feel the need to even take a biscuit. You know what I mean? I was conscious that I wouldn't take a biscuit, but at the same time, I was too full to eat. So it wasn't like I was missing the biscuits. I physically couldn't feel that I could eat them because I wasn't hungry enough to do so. And it was quite a kind of mindset kind of change, which was good from that regard.
Glad to hear that. And that's what happens when you get all the right stuff in your meals. You feel good and you don't crave the stuff we know we should be eating most of the time. Cool. So, Gerry, what are some of the physical results that you have achieved over the program, and how are you feeling about yourself now?
Well, there's been some pretty significant changes. Obviously, my body shapes has changed reasonably dramatically. Obviously, we take the photos to kind of check that. I suppose when we started out on the 28-day rebirth program, obviously you kind of set an initial test kind of outlay. Mm-hmm. I know most of the guys in it are always kind of committed to trying to get the pull-ups done and stuff like that, but I was just amazed at how unable I was to hold my own body weight up. Just a simple thing, just hold your body weight for a minute was the challenge. And I made 22 seconds, and I just could not believe, like, my children are hanging off each other end of the bar, they're holding on with one hand for like half a minute and things like that, and I just couldn't believe. I had it in my head the whole time that I could do a pull-up, even though I'd never tried to do one for years. And I guess I was kind of taken aback by just my inability to do something like that. So obviously that kind of got into the back of my mind that was like a target that I always wanted to hit. And from now, I mean, what I've been with the program now 6 months, is it? Just maybe.
Yeah, it's round about there, mate, for sure.
And I'm sitting at 7 pull-ups, and I'm disappointed. I think I should be able to get more than that. I was targeting more, and I was kind of disappointed that I never got it. So, to get into double figures in terms of pull-ups and stuff like that, it's still a challenge, and I know I'm going to achieve it. But I mean, I'm disappointed that I never got there.
Yeah.
So from that kind of regard, and things like even just the fact that I didn't realise I was doing press up for all these years. I was sitting bingo winging them, arms straight out to the sides and stuff like that.
Yep.
Just blissfully unaware, you know what I mean? And so all these kind of things, once you start doing them properly, you realise all the muscle groups that you were missing and all that time. Yeah. And now that I'm starting to hit them, I'm starting to kind of see definition in my arms. I'm certainly losing weight. I've started out at just over 87 kilo. I'm now down to 81 and a half kilo. And I reckon it's going to keep going for now. I don't want to lose too much more, but I feel just confident. You know what I mean? I just keep going. Like I say, it's no calorie countings. There's just keep going with the workouts. Just keep watching what I eat, being careful, and I know the weight will come off. So
glad to hear it, mate. Thanks very much. And remember, we had that conversation when you first started about not being able to do any pull-ups, and I said, like, they're going to come. That first one's going to come, and then like the rest of them will come, and now you can do 7, and it's going to be the same. Getting to the double figures like that, it's just going to come with that consistency.
Aye, well, I'm going to keep sneaking them in because, like I say, I was a bit. I don't know if I was just feeling a bit off. I'll keep that excuse under my that excuse with me. I was maybe just feeling a bit off that day on that last test day.
We all have off days. So, Gerry, what would you say are some of the biggest benefits, the big impacts that this had on your life so far?
Like I say, I can fit into all the clothes that are now in my wardrobe. You know, there was actually quite a lot of items of clothing that I could not fit into. And you know, going out for what, I've got far more energy now. You know what I mean? Like I'm actually kind of twitching when I don't get to do exercise of some description, or whether it's just going out for a walk or something like that. I'm even going out in the rain now because I'm getting so kind of twitchy sitting here. Can keep up with the kids, which is good. You know, I was football coaching with my son and stuff like that. Obviously, that's kind of been shut down a bit with COVID, but we do go out into the park and play. And you know, you would kind of feed the ball to him a lot and stuff like that. But now I'm kind of getting more involved in terms of tackling him now. He is getting bigger, so he does need to get put back in his place now and again. But it's just the whole kind of lifestyle kind of thing. You know, I just feel better. So
good. Glad to hear that, mate. Well done, and it's a credit to your efforts as well. Last question for you, mate. For anybody who's watching this video and is in a position that you were in before you started on the 28 days, and they're thinking about, you know, is this the right thing for me? Should I get involved? Should I not? What would your advice to them be at this moment?
I mean, like I say, my trepidation about doing it was like overcommitting to something that I didn't know if I was going to do it. Like the 28-day rebirth thing was just a fantastic introduction. No commitment. You could, you know, you got yourself involved. At the end of it, there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You were very clear on that point. If it's not for you, you don't necessarily want somebody there that doesn't want to do it. Yeah. But I think most people will find that it's not quite as daunting as they think. It's not like a full-on military-esque kind of style of thing. It's really relaxed. There's a great support network with all the guys that are all involved in the group. They're all at different levels, so it's not as if you're coming in and you'll be miles behind everybody and not be able to relate to anything. It's just a good it's a fantastic wee program. Like I say, a good support network. It's really chilled, and you just kind of lay it out in kind of almost like baby steps for us, and you'll see the results happening within the 28-day program. You'd see the results straight away. So your fears will be allayed within the first month.
That's brilliant, Gerry. Thanks very much, mate. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been great. Thanks.